Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Zynatul Arofah. Now I will explain about my result. My result is economic analysis of law. Indonesia's criminal policy seems to only focus on the criminalization of actions that are considered morally wrong, which oversight one of objective of holding criminal law, namely the recovery of consequence of a criminal act, and criminal police in Indonesia seems to ignore the consequence arising for the handling of case and the consequence of punishment. Hundreds of thousands of people who of course need human resource, space, and also very large cost. This paper discusses the idea of economic analysis of law in criminal law policies. This paper also discussed the reorientation of Indonesia criminal police based on an economic analysis of law. The research method used the normative judicial qualitative research methods, participant and legal. This writing used document studies, especially examining law and regulates, as well as relevant books and journals. So, let me introduce this paper. Observing the dynamics of Indonesian criminal policy from time to time is not an exaggeration to say that legal moralism is very influential in various aspects. It is not an exaggeration to say that legal moralism is very influential in various aspects. Policy Indonesian criminal police seems to focus only on the criminalization of acts that are considered morally criminal, which is to recover the right of the perpetrators morally and overrides on of the objective of criminal law, namely the recovery the consequences of criminal act and realization of social welfare. Economic analysis of law in criminal law policy around the 1960 century and 1970, experts began to think about the correlation between criminal law and economic ideas, started from matters related to business and civil matters. Even their analysis, it can be seen the economic factor have major influence on people legal action. Likewise, economic factor also need to be taken into account by legal policy makers against all costs arising for a legal event. In this matter, Richard A. Posner seems to agree with Guy Calabrese, namely encouraging lawmakers to formulate a priority policies both legal and economically to minimize the occurrences of legal cases. As well, economic consideration for those who suffer from the consequence of an act. In the same opinion, Gary S. Baker, according to him, the imposition of imprisonment sanction to criminal is a failure of the state in providing compensation to the victim. Baker further show how unfair this model of criminal policy is because the victim in fact must bear the cost of handle. So in more detail, he mentioned the reason that victim through the lax money he paid has actually financed all legal operations ranging from case disclosure to operational costs in prison. Therefore, he strongly encouraged the economic variables such as money, resources, and human resources be used the main premise of policymakers in formulating and enforcing criminal law. So, reorientation of Indonesia criminal police based on economic analysis of law. This include there must be a balance of the means used in relationship relation to results to be achieved in the enactment of criminal provision and the implementation of punishment. And then cost analysis of results obtaining, cost analysis of the result obtaining in relation to the objective to be achieved. Assessment of the objective to be achieved, to be solved in relation to other priorities and the allocation of human resource. And the last, the social effect of criminalization and discriminalization relating to secondary effect. The consideration of economic analysis of law must certainly be carried out all stages of the formation of criminal policies, starting from the formulation stage, the application stage, to the execution stage. And then conclusion. Economic analysis of law, especially in criminal law, wants to emphasize the efficiency of handling cases even before the act committed by making the best formulation of an act is certain with criminal sanction. The best formulation is based on economic calculation so that people can rationally decide to comply with criminal law. Furthermore, the scope of the idea economic analysis of law in criminal law can be examined based on economic approach, include cost-benefit analysis, behavioral analysis, efficiency analysis, and fairness justice analysis. Indonesia criminal police priorities legal moralist argumentation so that it is to focus on efforts to criminalize acts that are considered morally wrong by ignoring on the realization of social welfare. This paper intended to propose an alternative idea on economic analysis of law that can be implemented in Indonesia criminal police in the future. So that my presentation. Thank you for attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.